What is up, everybody? How is it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Friday. TGIF, everybody. Hope you're having a damn good Friday. Maybe you're relaxing for the evening. You're like, oh, Austin popped up on my Facebook. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. And if that is the case, happy Friday. I'm glad to be a part of your evening routine. But yeah, told myself I'm doing 5 lives a week. I'm doing 5 days a week of lives and podcasting. I ain't missing a day, even if I have to do it at 7 p.m. at night. I don't give a shit. I'm getting it done. We're going to talk about something interesting today. I'm being integral as fuck to my goals, though. Being integral as fuck to my goals, even though I feel like crap a little bit. So we are going to be talking about this. I see a comment from Paula. What's up, Paula? Really need to hear this. Good, because I'm going to tell you all about it. Because today we're going to be talking about self-care, and I think this is something that, especially as parents, we all need to hear sometimes. But even if you're not a parent, you still need to hear this shit because it's really important. You need to take care of yourself. And I'm going to talk about why, because if you feel like you're constantly living your life for others and putting others first, you're actually doing everybody a disservice in that situation. And so I want to tell you guys about this today. I'm going to try and muster up as much energy as I can, 7 p.m. on a Friday night after being sick and working all day, and I'm going to get it done, and that's what we're going to do, because that's what we do over here. So let's get things kicked off here in just a second. We're going to be talking about, though, why if you feel like you're constantly living your life for other people, and that you feel like any self-care towards yourself is selfish, or that you're constantly putting yourself on the back burner, this live is for you. This is going to be what you need to hear. So we're going to get this kicked off here in just a minute. So 3, 2, 1. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Fit Parent Project. How is it going? How is it going? Today, we are going to be talking about the concept of, and this is something that is especially true for parents and for others as well, but if you always feel like you're living your life for others and never for yourself, like you don't, like you just don't have something that's yours, where like family duties are constantly, bleeding into every aspect of your life. Maybe you're a mom or a caregiver, you're taking care of the household, maybe even, working a job on top of all of that. I know a lot of people who are in that situation, and that's a lot, right? That's a lot. Taking care of other people is always on the agenda. Doing things for other people, is always on the agenda. Whether it's your kids' sporting events, or you have a project for work that you have to get done, and it just keeps bleeding into your schedule for the you time that you're supposed to be having, and so you're always making it making yourself kind of on the back burner in these scenarios. And so if that's you, keep listening, because I'm going to tell you something that you absolutely need to hear. And so like I said, taking care of people is always on the agenda, but somehow your needs never actually make it onto the schedule, and it's never ending. And I want to let you know that you are not alone in this situation, because as parents, we often get so caught up in living life as mom or dad or caregiver that we tend to lose ourselves. A lot of times we tend to forget and kind of lose, the things that made us, right? Our goals, our ambitions, our hobbies, the things that, gave us joy a lot of times before parenthood, because, parenthood, in case you guys don't know this or not, but I'm sure you do if you're listening to this, takes up a lot of fucking time. It really does. It really eats into your hours of the day. And so that's why, because this is something that, I, admittedly and ignorantly used to say whenever I was younger and didn't have a kid. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. You just got to hustle harder and make it a priority. And that's true. Like, you definitely got to make it a priority. But the amount of opportunity that we have to make it a priority is quite a bit smaller as parents, because we've got a lot of shit to do. We've got to take care of people, and that takes time out of your day to day. And I'm not saying it's impossible, because obviously it's possible. I've done it. I've helped a lot of my clients do it. I know a lot of people who've done it, but it does take, considerable amount of more effort to make sure that you're doing what needs to be done to reach your goals. And so, you're not alone in these situations, though, because like I said, as parents, we often get so caught up as living life as mom or dad or caregiver that we do tend to lose ourselves. We tell ourselves things like, next week is going to be different, right? Next week is going to be different. It didn't happen this week, but next week's definitely, I'm going to make it happen. Even though I said that the last like 6, 8, 52 weeks of my life, next week's going to be different. Next week, I'm going to get caught up and start taking care of myself. Next week, I'm going to start exercising and eating better, right? Like next week, that's when it's going to happen. But it never does happen, does it? There's always something that takes that time, right? There's always something that takes that time. And the cycle continues, right? And it will never stop. Trust me when I say life will never stop throwing reasons your way to put off your journey. And you need to break that cycle and get that time back for yourself. And at the end of the day, my goal for this episode is to help you find yourself again, like a happier and healthier version of yourself, to not only be a better you, right? But also, because I'm tapping into that like selfless part of your brain right now, but also a better mom, right? A better dad, a better caregiver, a better person who feels strong as hell and has the energy to do the things that he or she loves with the people that she loves, right? Let that be your, even if you can't do it for you right now, if you can't justify it, even though you should be justifying it to do it for you because you deserve it, at the end of the day, like if you have to tap into that selfless part of yourself to think, this is for me, but man, this is going to benefit the other people in my life that I care about, right? That this should be a priority, that your self-care is important. And so you need to stop acting like it isn't, right? Because self-care isn't selfish. You need to stop acting like self-care is selfish, because it's not. Self-care helps you become the best you. And I want to end on this. I want to talk about this for a second. I've talked about this before in the past, but if you're listening to this podcast, you probably haven't heard it before. And it's this concept and this story of the tale of the wolf mother and her cubs. Okay, just for food for thought and an example of this. If a wolf mother and her cubs are starving and there's only enough food for her or the babies to eat, in this thought experiment, who should eat first? Right? Ask yourself this: who should eat first? If a wolf mother and her cubs are starving and there's only enough food for her or the babies to eat, who should eat first? Most mothers or fathers would quickly say, my babies, right? Like, I'm not going to let my wolf cubs, right, starve. I'm not going to let them starve. I can't do that. That core desire to protect and care for her young is like there. It's like, it's heavy, right? It's like an almost like guttural reaction. It's like, obviously I'm going to choose my kids first, right? I'm obviously going to, put their needs first by giving them that food, right? That core desire to protect and care for your young, right? But guess what? That is the wrong answer with the right intention, right? That is the wrong answer with the right intention. And this is why. Because now you're all dead, right? Not to get too dark, but now you're all dead. Because mom starved, and now her babies are going to starve, right? Because she didn't take care of herself. And because she didn't take care of herself, she fell apart, leaving her helpless babies who can't fend for themselves to perish, right? Pretty dark. I get that. It's pretty dark. But this is what so many of you are doing right now. Right? And it may not be as severe as literal starving to death, right? But you are starving yourself from self-care. And because you are starving yourself from self-care, your children aren't getting their best mom or their best dad or their best caregiver, right? Your family isn't getting the best you. You aren't getting your best you. And I know and see like that the intention is good. And at the surface, at surface level, it makes sense, right? In the short term, it makes sense. But having kids, sometimes it feels like you're just, and having kids, sometimes it just feels like you're trying to survive anyways. But the intention is having the opposite effect of what you're wanting it to have. It's actually it ends up doing more harm than good long term, because you're falling apart, right? You need to feed yourself like the wolf mother should have. You need that self-care for yourself, so you can have the energy to hunt and find more food, so that you all make it, right? You're all living a happy life optimally. So you need to make yourself a priority in these situations, because it's not selfish, right? It's not selfish. It's living your best life for yourself so that you can be your best self for others, right? Let me repeat that. Self-care is not selfish. It is living your best life for yourself so that you can be your best self for others. And on that note, that's all I got for you guys today. And I hope that you have a good weekend. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. So, how's it going? How's it going? What's your guys' thoughts on the wolf mother, the tale of the wolf mother, and self-care? Because if you feel like you're constantly living your life for others right now, guys, if you feel like you're constantly living your life for others, like, you need to do something about that. You do. Like I'm not bullshitting you. Like you're almost like a ticking time bomb, right? In your own life. Before you just feel like you've completely lost yourself. And you feel like you have right now, like just know, like you can get that back, right? Like you can but it takes action. I cannot reiterate enough how often, like, I find myself, not for my self-care stuff, but just for certain things where I'm like, I'm gonna do that next week. And guess what? It doesn't fucking happen until you just like wake up one day and just say, like, I'm tired of putting this shit off for myself. I'm tired of putting this off. It really just it's hard, right? It's a hard first step to take, to take yourself off the back burner and make yourself a priority, but it's so damn important, right? For your own development, for your own happiness, for your own goals, right? You will not, you're gonna have a really hard time reaching your goals if you're constantly putting yourself on the back burner. And again, I get how hard it can be sometimes, but I hope that the narration or illustration from the tale of the wolf mother that I kind of talked about and explained, like, resonated with you to, like, maybe help you check yourself to think, like, man, like, I've been really, like, putting myself at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the priorities of my life, when in reality I honestly probably need to put myself closer to the top or at the top, so that way the things that are below that get the quality version of me that they deserve, right? And again, right, life is not fucking perfect. I'm not going to pretend life's perfect. Life is crazy sometimes. Life is chaotic sometimes. Sometimes there are seasons to these things where I feel like I'm definitely on the back burner, right? There are times and seasons of these things where I feel like I put myself on the back burner sometimes. And I know that, we can fall into that bad habit sometimes. We need to wake ourselves up and get back into the habit of putting ourselves first. But, at the end of the day, like, just doing your best, even if it's 15 minutes a day, right? Even if it's just 15 minutes a day, at night, where you do something for self-care, if that's, the gym or a workout, or, reading a book, or, taking a bath or something like that. That's just like some you time to let you recharge your batteries and, like, fill that cup of yours. Like that is going to be what, helps you reach that next level of yourself, or at least, like, feel like yourself, and feel like, because you're like, as parents, like, we're like a lot of times when people become parents, they step into this identity, that they feel like, oh, I'm a mom and a dad, or I'm a mom or a dad now, and, like, I'm, that's who I am, right? Like, I'm a dad, or I'm a mom. And, a lot of times people associate that with, like, almost like a martyrdom, in a sense, where it's like, I have to literally sacrifice everything in my life now, and devote it to my family and my kid, because I am a parent now. And because I'm a parent, I don't have, thoughts or feelings or emotions or ambitions or goals or things like that outside of parenthood. And I think that that's a very slippery slope that a lot of people fall into, and sometimes they don't even realize they're falling into it. And it's just one day they wake up and they're like, who the fuck am I? What goal? What do I like? Do I have hobbies? Or like what do I enjoy doing outside of, feeding my kid and picking up used napkins around the house, and, like, like helping my kid go to the bath, like, what, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what is outside of that in a lot of these situations? And it can be tough, right? It can be tough. And it can definitely be something that, it takes time to reincorporate some of those things into your life to help you feel like a human again. And I'm not gonna, the first 2 years after having a kid are probably, like, arguably, like, harder in terms of finding that self-care time, because they are a lot more dependent on you, and so, like, they're not as, like, autonomous in a sense. And so there are times and seasons for these things, and just know, though, that self-care for you is important. It is worth doing. It is worth making it happen for yourself, because in doing so, right, even if you can't do it for yourself selfishly, which everybody needs to be a little healthy amount of selfish in their life, right? You need to be. If you can't do it for that reason, right, and for your own good, think about it this way from the perspective of the tale of the wolf mother, and why it is good for your family too, by doing that for yourself. So, see a comment here before I hop off here. I actually put on over 8 months or longer. Went to the gym for 40 minutes, but got to make better eating habits. Yeah, I always drag myself down, think of others than before myself. Yeah, and in that situation, you need to realize that, like, by taking care of yourself, you're taking care of others. And like your self-care is not selfish. It's a necessity to be the best version of you. And sometimes we're not going to be the best version of ourselves. Like just straight up, like sometimes like we got a lot of shit going on in our lives, and it can be hard to be our best versions of ourselves. But it doesn't mean we should stop trying. It's honestly all the more reason to continue trying, because we deserve that for ourselves. Our family deserves that version of ourselves too. So yeah. Other than that, though, if you guys got value from this, you got if this was helpful, if you enjoyed what I had to say, feel free to let me know in the comments. Let me know your number one takeaway. Give this video a like. It helps other people see my shit, so that way they can get value from it. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Is I'm just trying to help people out and give some advice and help you shift your mindset a little bit around tough topics that I feel like people struggle with sometimes. So yeah. Other than that, have a damn good rest of your day. TGIF. Have a beautiful Friday and a beautiful weekend. And I hope that you do something that involves self-care for yourself. And I will talk to you all later. Bye. Later.